Okay, well, good afternoon, world. Maria Banga here. I want to start by saying that I thank so many people because I'm hoping that a good number of them will let this on their timeline and, some will share and a lot of people will engage and make comments and stuff like that. There's this saying that strike the iron while it is hot. So when something happens in the community, we seize the opportunity to talk about things of that nature, right? And we hope that while emotions are still running high and people are more alert because people want updates or maybe people want scandals, people want news, bloggers want to fly and people want to say, I told you, and all of those kind of things. Some of us who have been entrusted, with some divine mandates and all of that, talking for myself, so many capacities, but seeing how a lot of that has to do with the man's well-being, the man, like the human being's holistic well-being, mental, psychological, spiritual, emotional, all of that. It weighs on me sometimes, to see some kind of things go on in my community, and I sometimes debate within myself. I'm conflicted. Should I say something? Should I not say something? Should I join the others in shooting stones? Should I laugh? Should I cry? Should I pray? Should I just live my life? Stuff like that. And yeah, people reach out to me background because they already know what I do, and I'm just human, right? So in some cases I'm like, okay, yeah, what's going on? And so I learn of what's going on and I go back to the social media and I see some things and I'm like, come on now, come on, and thank you, darling. I am actually wrapping up a project in my school on the stain of stigma in my community. So I have done 2 webinars on the H4AB Facebook page, to talk about this with different people who have had experiences. Either they have worked with people or they themselves have had personal experiences. Like me, I live with post-traumatic stress disorder. So it means that I have been through stuff and I know how much stigma is prevalent and how it can continue to affect you and all of that. And at the same time, I know what we can do, to stop stigmatizing people and stop making like we are and people are, because we are all human beings. Anything can shock you, traumatize you, and send you over the edge. But the worst thing is for you to use your mouth and send somebody over the edge. Mental health is all about somebody's capacity, right, to carry on with their daily activities without strain, without fear, without anxiety, without worry, without these feelings of self-doubt, of low self-esteem, of unworthiness, of guilt, of all of that. And you never know what people are going through. You never. Because some people might even write and say, I'm struggling. I feel terrible about life. Like one young lady, an artist, just wrote and said she just wants, she's done. And some people might not write. And some people might write when they are really, really done. Some people might write when they are still like on number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. By the time they write number 10 time, that number 10 time is really the time that they are finishing. They're like, I'm writing with a gun by my side. You never know. You're not there with them. So don't judge. The Bible says, don't be focused on the peck in your neighbor's eye when you have a plank in your eye. So some people were making comments that, she's always crying wolf and this and that. Yeah, well, work are fine. All of those kind of things. How mean? How mean? If it were your sister or your best friend or your cousin, your whoever. I have my brother is of blessed memory. He was sick. He was sick with epilepsy from the age of 11, and then he had a mental illness, one or the other, at the age of 18. I wrote a book about my brother when he died. I myself, I live with post-traumatic stress disorder. Sometimes I write that I'm struggling, and sometimes people see that I'm struggling. Sometimes I don't even want to leave my room. This is the first time I'm coming to my office like since February started. So you just don't know. You just don't know. So when somebody can do all those things well, like you can sleep well, some people can't sleep well. For example, last night I slept at 9 p.m. I was up at 2:30 a.m. I generally don't sleep for long, like, so I just really have to be sleeping by 9 so that I can be up at 3 a.m. and not feel like, that's okay. But if I try to sleep at 10 or 11, I will still be up at 2 or 3. And then I will not sleep again. I haven't slept again since then. So you can see some back here under my eye, my left eye. You need to know yourself, and you need to be willing to speak out and speak up. And don't be afraid of people. All these people, who are people? May human being like me? I used to also be bothered about what will people say. A whole lawyer like myself, oh, my marriage don't pass me. But at some point, after I had also attempted suicide, yeah, I was like, no, I'm not going to die in here, because if I die in here, those very children I love very much, they're going to grow up without a mother. So it's best for me to leave and go away so that I can continue living. But the pressure from everywhere is just too much. From family, from friends, from, church, from wherever. Social media own is another level. One of my big sisters was saying, you need to develop tough skin to face social media. I wanted to leave the social media. I had 4,500 friends. I took the thing down to 50. Some people keep sending requests, 1,000 and whatever requests to 500 friend requests, whatever. I don't even have time to study those things. I've seen that I'm about 150 or 170. I'm like, look, Gonya, I don't want this thing. He's like, no, you need to use social media. I'm like, okay. But I don't want to be saying things on my timelines. There are people who I don't know whatever they're doing on social media, I don't know. But I don't want to be seeing their timelines. That's why I don't want friends on social media. Because I don't want to see timelines that some kind of things will be on your timeline. They'll be insulting people. They will be degrading people. There'll be all those. I don't want to see those things on my timelines. I've passed that level. Even in my lowest of low, I did not participate in that kind of thing. Not to talk of now, when I know who I am and all of those things. Why should I be participating or even seeing those kind of things where people are insulting people, people are, degrading people, people are making mockery of other people? That's called cyberbullying, and that can affect somebody's mental health. So you hear mental illness, mental ill health. You don't know that it's a combination. For some people, it's not like you just got up today, tomorrow you're colo, you're off. No, for some people it's a build up. Many people, for me, it was a build up of different traumatic experiences for so many people. And sometimes the first time you reach out for help, you say something, people laugh at you. You sit quiet, and then maybe you do like she did. You come back a few months later and you say, no, everything is fine, I'm good and stuff. Because of course, that is when people will clap for you. That is when people will buy your product. You're trying to survive. That is when, but deep within you, you're still struggling. You just don't know what somebody is dealing with. Sometimes they will say, sometimes they will not say. Sometimes they will even say and be smiling. Did we not just lose Miss USA of 2019? They said she was living with high functioning depression. Has anyone heard about that? I know. Some people say, but she had everything. Which, are you in her mind to know what she did not have in her mind? She might have had all those material things, but is that what she needed? Is that what she needed? This young lady might just be needing to see how much support people can give her. Give people support 100 times, and so what? How many times have you yourself received support in your life from humans and from God? So just to write there that I'm praying for you, to hang on, God loves. No, you said, hey, if you can't die now, is that something? What is that? And some people will be doing that because, well, they will have the accolade. Of course, misery loves company. So all those miserable people in the community will follow those people, flock behind them and be writing and sharing and blah, blah, blah. And that's how people will be commenting. Everybody will want to show how they know how to tarnish somebody's reputation, how to dig things about people, how to say all kinds of crazy things about people, stuff like that. And then those very people, the day that issues start to get at them, of course they will not also talk. How can you talk when you were laughing at somebody the other day? So that's how they will also suffer with their own. And some of us will talk and talk and talk, and people will still be going down. Either they're stigmatizing themselves, or society is stigmatizing them. Who knows? Even at the hospital, they might stigmatize her. What are you doing here? With all what you have a daughter, you have this here. It's not about what they have. It's about what they don't have. And it is sometimes so tricky that we focus more on what we don't have than on what we have. That is it. It's unfortunate, but we are humans. So you can have bags and bags and bags, but you wanted that one particular bag. And until you have that one particular bag, and all of these things will not satisfy us. So you might even end up having that one particular bag, but it is not when you wanted it. It's not the color, it's not the size, it's not the this, it's not the that. That's how the devil tricks us. I've gotten down to basic. Just grateful for my basic. Grateful for sleep, grateful for food, grateful for my body, my limbs, my health. Stop there. But it's not everybody who is like that. And some people don't even want but that peace of mind, serenity. They just want love from another person. It takes a lot to get to that level where you don't bother about love from another human being anymore. You are more interested in maybe love of God or love of yourself. Stuff like that. And if another human being comes, that's bonus. But it's not easy. It is not. So somebody might be there, they might be in a relationship, they are being abused in that relationship, but they will stay there. They will stay in that relationship because at least somehow they find some small company, they find some small love or what you call it, they find some small validation, they find some small affinity, some small something. And so for all the times that there is abuse, there is insult, just that one small time that they embrace you, okay, no problem, I cannot go, I will not go. Well, it's difficult everywhere. Is that not what the Bible says? Is that not what people are told? It's difficult everywhere. They say marriage now work, relationship is work. So if I want to be in a relationship, I have to prepare myself to work. Work for how much? And sometimes there's this other thing called codependency, which is something that I have also noticed as a psychotherapist and all kinds of things, right? You two broken people come together like this, unlike posts attract. So we are each coming with our different wahalas, but you can help me in some area of my wahala, I can help you in some area of your wahala. So we come together because we can do that to each other. And then once you stop needing me that badly to help you in that area, I start feeling rejected. Once I also start needing you badly, you also start feeling rejected. And then we start pulling apart. People have different attachment styles. I have done videos upon videos talking about this thing. But today like this, I just want to appeal to the good consciousness of people on social media. Hey, do you want to be the reason why somebody jumps over the cliff? Do you? Is it everybody that can have tough skin? Even me, as tough as my skin is, at times when I don't even want to see, I don't want to know what's going on social media. I don't want to. Like, frankly speaking, I had 4,500. Now I have 100. I don't even know many of them. I don't want to even know people anymore. The people who really know me know how to get to me. The rest of all, I just realized that, hey, all of that is just, it's pulling you left and right and center, and you start to feel like I'm not good enough, and so and so is doing so and so is posting so and so, all of those kind of things. Social media, it is social. It is not true. It is media. A lot of media is made up. The other day I saw a friend of mine in Kumba. That my sister Nakiti. She's very funny. So she was on a Zoom meeting and stuff, and I was admiring the picture. The background was all blue and everything. I was like, either it's a background that she used or she has a very nice place in her house. And I was just thinking that I'll be visiting her city one of these days, and I want to go to that place in her house. Only for me to see a post from her saying, sometimes you see what you see on social media, that's not the reality. This is where I was sitting in my house and I wasn't wearing, I just had a loincloth under my top, but because the picture shows you but from the top, and then there was the back background that she used. You have that option also, I think, with Zoom and stuff. You can select a background. So you see that beautiful background, you see only her top, you see the makeup, but below you don't see. And so if you reach out to her, you start saying, oh man, love you, I want to have that kind of makeup, what you doing? Da, 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 da. You don't even know that she did all of that just to sit on that Zoom call. And then you go and try your own, and it doesn't work out, or it doesn't catch the attention of any guy or any woman, or and stuff like that. That's how depression sets in. Then unhealthy coping mechanisms. And then you have this thing called circle of friends, support network. I've talked about it time and again. Be very careful about the people in your support network. You don't need a crowd. One thing with celebrities or stars, they need that crowd. Because when they have to sell their brand and their music or their whatever they're selling, so they need that crowd. And the crowd, you need to feed the crowd. It's like hungry lions. You need to feed them. And you feed them with what? Meat, all kind of rubbish. Blah, 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 blah. The day you stop feeding them, they come after you. So you need to continue feeding them. And the more scandalous you are, the more they will clap, the more they will gather. But I don't. I just don't. I refuse to be a celebrity. I refuse to be an influencer. I refuse. I come once I see that, hey, I take out without apology, because my mental health matters. It's very important, and it is for each person to take care of their own. Don't get to the level where people have to take care of you. People have a level. Let's try to help our loved ones. When somebody is at, for example, number one, that person might just be losing sleep. That person might just be, in their moods and everything. Please start to show some more concern. Start to talk to the person. Start to, stuff like that. Number two, number three, number four. Even if we are not many professionals, the few reach out to them. The earlier, the better. Don't wait. And only go behind and be running your mouth and, sharing all kinds of things, doing all kinds of vlogs, posting the thing there, talking. Oh, what will all of that do? This is our sister. It can be any other person, and it affects our collective psychic. We have watched it now. We have read it. Look at me here in the office now, even concentrating. I cannot even concentrate very well. I'm concerned. Just last December, I lost another sister. Another young man that people are just going. So let's try. Let's really try. This is me, all plain. Whether anybody says what about me, I have reached that level. Super tough skin. I don't care. I just went, I'm just from the barber. I don't care at all. But not everybody can be this way. Please, don't use your mouth and send somebody to their early grave. Don't use your mouth and make somebody to go and drink Parazone or start taking whether it's alcohol or all of those kind of things. Don't do that. Don't be clicking and sharing and commenting. You think you're commenting behind, nobody will share. The third person you're saying now is going to say to the next person, going to say, what is all of that? Anyway, as for me and my household, we talk mental health, we take care of our mental health. I mean, my son, his phone was stolen 2 days ago, and this morning he was in my room for us to process the whole thing. He talked about his different emotions, the shame, the guilt, the anger, the sorrow. We talked about all of those things, and I said, well, you still have to go back and play basketball there, but now you have learned your lesson. You don't take your phone to basketball again. There's no phone again anyway. Yeah, and I had been telling him, don't take your phone there, but he was taking. He thought it was a big boy. So I'm not going to insult him and say, you think he's sweet man. No, that's my son. But I'm going to be like, okay, you've learned the lessons. Life doesn't end there. Move on, stuff like that. But if I was instead beating and stop and slapping, like I saw one father slapping their own, he's going to shut down, going to stay in the room. He's going to fake it. He's going to, do all of those kind of things. Let's help one another. Let's help one another. And I really pray for this young lady. I'm really ready to help her, right? Please, if you can share this, you share and all of that. Let's just do this. Let's just keep doing this. Mental health matters. It's for real. We all have mental health. Nobody should pretend that they don't have mental health, because it's just the health you have. Okay, now it is when this health now starts being challenged, afflicted, That is when we talk of mental ill health, distress. So we all have, just like we all have physical health. You neglect your body, you eat anyhow, of course you fall sick. So mental health, you neglect your mind, you talk anyhow, you drink anyhow, you do whatever anyhow. Yeah, you can also fall sick. You expose yourself to any kind of thing. That is the same thing. Spiritual health, the same. Emotional health, the same. Okay, well, thank you so much, those who joined.